Great to be back. After that mini episode, I've been ready to start up FCC again.
And these two teams of dastardly do-gooders are helped start it off.
Alright, the Koopalings, Bowser's evil kid / elite troops from Super Mario.
And the Robot Masters, Dr. Wily's evil group of machines from Mega Man 2.
I'm Demon.
And I'm the Red Archer.
And it's our job to analyze these two teams to the fullest to see what happened when these two fictional characters collide.
It was the year 20XX. It was 1 year after Dr. Wily's first defeat, and everything seemed to be going alright.
Mega Man was just sitting around, Roll was still being a weird 80s housewife, and Dr. Light probably brushed his manly beard at least twice a day.
That seems oddly specific.
I guess it kinda is. Who would have thought Dr. Wily wasn't done with them and decided to strike back in the only way he knew how? Actually making something useful that can help the world.
Actually, he decided on building some new Robot Masters alongside a new base.
So basically the first game all over again?
Pretty much.
But don't fret, Archer, these Robot Masters were built to be better than the first 8. And these new Robot Masters are the ones we will be analyzing today.
Just a heads up guys, this is going to be a different analysis this time around, as we'll run through each Robot Master's abilities, strengths, and weaknesses.
I guess we should start with the best of the bunch here, Metal Man.
Good choice, Demon. Metal Man is no joke, as he's considered to be the most dangerous out of the Mega Man 2 robots.
His design kinda proves that too. He's literally got buzzsaws for shoulder blades, and he's got those wicked evil red eyes.
Note to self, if anyone has evil red eyes, kill them on sight.
Thanks, Archer. But Metal Man's design aside, he wields the deadliest weapon in Mega Man history, the Metal Blade.
The Metal Blade is a sharp-rounded projectile made of serentinium, a metal stronger and lighter than titanium, which is able to be thrown in 8 different directions. Also, they can be thrown through walls for some odd reason, but it was a weird age of gaming back then, so anything could happen.
Metal Man is able to throw as many of these as he likes, and they are so dangerous, they're even strong against Metal Man himself. How does that even work?
Not to mention that these things have a high ammo reserve, so Metal Man's not going to run out of these anytime soon.
Metal Man has no particular strain, but since he has those metal blades, he's not dying anytime soon.
Since he's only weak to his own weapon, he's no doubt the best compared to his robot brother.
Next we got the quickest of the bunch, Quick Man. Who would have guessed?
Me?
Shut up, Archer.
Dang it, Demon.
Actually, Quick Man is a speedy fellow who zips around the stage, overwhelming his opponents with his powerful speed.
Quickman's weapon is a quick boomerang. With it, he shoots out small razor-sharp boomerangs with quick shots.
Quickman is also able to fire these in rapid succession as well, which helps him get the job done really fast. The only bad thing about this weapon is it has a piss-poor range, so Quickman has to be up and close for the weapon to actually take effect.
That kind of sounds like a certain Overwatch character.
Yo, Archer, don't forget about his crazy speed as well.
Ah yes, in the manga, Quickman is stated to be faster than lightning itself. It has showed us a couple of times when fighting against Mega Man. Lightning is mostly shown to go around 224,000 miles per hour, so we can safely say that Quickman himself can move around this kind of speed.
Kinda got a few major problems, but he's so weak to Flash Man's Time Stopper power and the Crash Bomb, and the Tornado from Airman. Man, this guy's actually weak to a lot of weapons.
Let's not forget this guy's cockiness in the manga as well. Being the fastest for some reason always gives that guy the ticket to be a self-centered narcissist.
Like a certain blue hedgehog.
Shut up!
Oh, fine, who's next?
The explosive robot master himself, Crashman.
This script is weird.
It sure does, Demon! Crashman is a walking explosive armory, as he carries a lot of bombs on hand, all the time.
But Crashman doesn't have one. Plus he got some drill things on his helmet which can guarantee is annoying to try and see it.
Doesn't explain how he's still able to get around though.
Well, whatever the case, Crashman wields the explosive Crash Bomber, a bomb named after his own image.
With it, Crashman is able to fire a bomb with his arms, which latch onto whatever Crashman is aiming at. The bomb then explodes after a set amount of time, which is able to destroy just about anything.
Not to mention Crashman can detonate it whenever he feels like it. That's pretty handy, actually.
Crashman's armor is something to boast about as well, since it supposedly has the power to withstand explosions as well. Helps when you're walking armory.
Oh, and Crashman can also use those drills to punch people if he feels like it. Yeah, real useful, I know.
Crashman is a really, overall, very balanced robot master who seems to be only weak to the air shooter for some reason. That makes it perfect segue to talk about.
Poor Crashman. He never knew what it was like to have proper
Demon, the segue.
Yes. Next up, we have Airman.
Airman probably has the most confusing design out of the bunch, as he is literally a walking vacuum cleaner.
Why not have the fun doing chores with him then?
Focus, Demon! Airman's weapon is an air shooter, which, with it, Airman shoots out mini tornadoes which are able to hit both land and tornadoes all at once.
These tornadoes are great for racking up damage quick and are an effective way of killing minor enemies.
Hey Demon, remember me saying that he's a walking vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, isn't that why we must use him for chores?
Well, he's more of a giant walking fan, actually, as he's able to use the fan in his body to either push away or pull foes towards airmen. Unless
if you have leaves. That's right, this guy is weak to Woodman's leaf shield, which I'm guessing clogs up his fan or something. Like that one piece of stout is stuck in between your teeth or whatever.
Ugh, don't remind me. In short, Airman is strong, but his weaknesses to leaves really makes us consider like he's a robot master at all.
Maybe Wily does keep him around for chores. It makes more sense now. He's a leaf blower and Wily uses him during the fall.
Demon, you're an idiot.
Thank you, Archer. Next we have... That's literally the perfect name for this guy.
Introducing Heatman, the hottest robot master around. That way, of course.
What do you mean? Look at him. He's made for Robot Master Monthly.
Anyway, Heatman is one of the dumbest yet most intimidating robot masters, and it's stated that he's able to create temperatures to up to 21,132 degrees Fahrenheit. This is around the same heat as the core of the freaking sun. No wonder Mega Man gets the atomic fire from this guy. If the knockoff is so strong, the original must be even better.
Yet the design doesn't really give the impression of intimidating. He's just a guy in a box! What's the deal with him?
You must be referring to his atomic fire, the hottest weapon there is.
Please, stop that.
Actually, he's lighter most likely by the looks of it.
Done it, Archer.
With it, Heatman can unleash a fire projectile, which he can also charge up for getter effects.
It lasts a day to incinerate most foes, and it makes excellent for a good barbecue, if you don't mind being incinerated by 21,000 degrees. Let's not forget that Heatman is able to unleash blasts of flames from his hand without the use of atomic fire as well.
He can also shield himself from a fiery aura if he feels like it, to ram himself into enemies fully ignited, giving him a nasty burn.
But beware of his greatest weapons. Bubbles! Alright, yeah, the guy is weak to bubbles, people. Bubble Man's ability as well makes some sense, kinda, you know, atomic fire being weak to water and all that. This guy really doesn't have any more design problems, but his weakness to water is something he's gotta look out for.
Next we have Bubble Man. Bubble Man? Why was this guy made again? To entertain kids' parties?
No. So he can be Wild's first aquatic robotic master, dummy.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Sure.
Moving on, Bowman is most at home in water as he is able to swim at super fast speed, being able to nearly defy water physics in general.
However, apparently a design flaw keeps him from walking on land for some reason. He can only jump. That's okay.
You know what isn't weird? His weapon. The bubble lead. That sounds so stupid and weird actually.
Bowman is able to unleash a torrent of bubbles, which can somehow hurt his enemies.
Bubble Man can either fire them from his arm cannon, or he can fire them from that little gun on the top of his head. Also to note, his bubbles which are fired from the weapon range is inside.
And I mean, like, he can create bubbles normally as well, but that's really it.
He's also weak to the Metal Man blade, which is like really bad. If that's not enough, basically the weakest out of the group of the robot masters as well. I mean, any case easily beats this guy. It's sad, really.
Let's move on to an even more sad robot than him, then. Woodman.
Woodman? Really?
I'm not kidding, that's his actual name.
Let's keep this short for him, then.
Woodman is just a walking tree stump, making him a laughing stock compared to the rest of the robot masters.
At least his weapon is somewhat decent. His leaf shield is a unique weapon which summons a bunch of metal leaves, which Woodman can either use to protect himself or launch at enemies.
The leaves are able to cut just about anything that stands in Woodman's way.
But that's it. Woodman is weak to the atomic fire, which makes sense considering he's made out of wood. That's design. It's... anyone else left, Archer?
All we have left is Flashman. Wait, no, not that kind of Flash Demon.
Aww, I was hoping to see a robot master presenting himself to Mega Man to make damage.
It is a robot master demon. His literal name is Flashman.
The Flash is a man. I know that. What are you trying to tell me, Archer?
This is why I hate you. Well, a Flashman is our last robot master, and much for him, he's got the best ability out of anyone despite his bland design.
Seriously, is he a robot master or not?
Flashman's weapon, per se, is the Time Stopper. By the name of it, it's pretty obvious on what it can do.
From the sound of it, this Time Stopper is able to stop time for a brief moment, allowing this guy to get some extra hits in or instantly kill his enemies before they even know what happened.
Unlike Kinetic Man, who can't attack while using it, Flashman is shown to be better at it already, as he's able to fire projectiles from his own arm cannon during the period of is activated.
This Flashman Archer keeps talking about seems to have no particular weakness other than being prone to the crash bomb or occasional metal blade.
How about this? There is a super duper robot that is able to freeze time and shoot projectiles from an arm cannon similar to the man.
I can sort of see it. Oh, now I get it. Flashman, that's the thing. I see. I figured it out. I learned it like I learned the Ruby Man. Oh, I get it.
I'm going to took you the entire analysis.
So, do we have anything left about these Masters, Archer?
Nope. Seems to be all of them.
Thank God. So it all up, the Robot Masters from Mega Man to...
Wait, Demon. Too early for that. We gotta say a few more things.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, since this is a team battle, wouldn't you explain how they are in a team situation? Not to mention these guys are kind of weak to each other. Bone Man is weak to Metal Man, Metal Man is weak to Quick Man is weak to Flash Man is weak to Crash Man.
Wait, you get it, Archer. So you're saying that if they are up against each other or against the same weapon as one of the Robot Masters, they're basically doomed?
Yep.
Neato! Well, one question. How can you work as a team?
Well, in the manga, it says that they actually know how to work well together. They even see each other as family, showing a more deeper bond.
That's the stupid typical family is power crap.
Plus, why they kind of program them to work together as well, so there's that.
That's the more logical choice you should have said.
Yet it doesn't explain why all the Robot Masters weren't just ganging up on Mega Man in the first place, and just power likes keeping care of that.
Are we finally done?
Fine, go ahead.
Yes! In conclusion, the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2 are some of the most iconic robots ever introduced in the series. And they'll make sure to stop at nothing before Mega Man drops in.
So we go from non-biological to actual biological brothers and one sister. Well, that's a weird turn of events, I guess.
Throughout many years, our mustache hero Mario has been at odds with his arch-enemy Bowser. I'm surprised these guys haven't become friends yet.
Well, typical in the Mario world, it's basically princess kidnapping and saving at 6, playing golf and kart racing with the punch at 7 or 8.
Sure thing, Archer. Anyway, in order to combat Mario and his friends, Bowser built up a grand army which would help continue to lay siege to the Mushroom Kingdom, time after time again.
But yet, they still all go kart racing.
Shut up! Well, I got your run-of-the-mill Goombas, Hammer Bros, Cheep Cheeps, anything else. None of them are more fearsome than the deadly group of 8 Koopas.
Meet the Koopalings, Bowser's kids, elite troops, or whatever that'll do anything to stop that mushroom-eating Mario from ruining Bowser's plans. Is that it? These things don't have much of a backstory.
No, they don't, Archer. In fact, even though they're appeared in almost every Mario game, including spin-offs, you still know practically nothing about them. Unless you believe Matt.
And theories aside, let's get back on track. Let's start off with the most well-known Koopaling of them all, Bowser Jr.
Alright, only one that's been confirmed to be Bowser's kid. At least right now. How does that even work? Bowser Jr. made his first appearance in Mario Sunshine, believing that Peach was his mother, which raises one big question. This little guy is a clear image of his own man, Bowser.
I mean, like, Bowser Jr., you couldn't see that?
Fair point, Archer. Jr. is able to unleash torrents of fire towards his opponents. While it might not be as big as his old man, their flames still able to hurt. Jr. can also hide in his shell in order to protect himself from attacks, so he can send himself screaming out of control in the opponent's direction, making it for an extra spiky attack.
To continue on with Bowser Jr.'s abilities, he's got a lot of magic. Hey Demon, do you know that Bowser Jr. is a cosplayer?
Wait, what?
Yep, he has that bib that allows him to turn into an evil version of Mario himself, dubbed Shadow Mario. Creative name, I know. This form comes with a magic paintbrush, which is able to make living ink, which can damage his enemies. It also has a poison effect, electric, and lava versions of these paints, which you can all use to frame Mario for taking away his mama.
Which I called... kinda bullshit? I mean, who knows what Peach has done while she's been captured. This says Peach hasn't done it yet with the big guy.
Bestiality aside, Bowser Jr. has another thing in common with his dad. His Junior Clown Car.
Oh boy. Get ready for this one, folks. Despite how ridiculous it looks, it's a pretty powerful machine that's able to dispose flying. It has a cannon that can shoot cannonballs, numerous amounts of sharp objects, and even giant spiky balls. And you know how children likes their toys? Well, so does Bowser Jr. Except his has freaking explosives. Inside his clown car, he got the actual Mecha Koopas, which is a bane of Archer's existence against me in any kind of game, which he can deploy that can explode on impact.
Freaking spanger. And if he needs to get physical, 2 robotic arms can shoot out the side of the car that have 2 gigantic boxing gloves. He can use them for very powerful punches, This also includes giant drills as well for a powerful singe attack. It even shows to have giant bullet bills as well in them. You can also use the cart to fly and hover. It's a pretty cool car.
Too bad it looks really stupid.
But there is a lot more to Bowser Jr. unlike his father and most of his siblings. Bowser Jr. is actually pretty smart and was able to lead Bowser's army in his absence. And it has been stated to be smarter than Bowser himself.
But since Bowser's already a little bit dumbass, that isn't saying much.
Fair point. Plus he's pretty childish and spoiled. And if things don't go his way, he'll throw a big tantrum and become easier to take down.
Next Koopa on our list is Ludwig von Koopa. That's actually a very fancy name compared to the rest of the family. He starts to seem some class in the Mario franchise.
You haven't experienced true class until you see Bowser's wedding outfit demon.
Good point. That's a classy man. Unfortunately, despite the Von in his name, he has no vampire trait, which is very disappointing. But instead of that, he has a lot of useful magic.
He is able to levitate and teleport around with ease, being able to overwhelm enemies with his tricks.
And with that, he can also clone himself into 3 separate copies, which are all as deadly as the original. They're even able to cause damage by themselves as well.
When you throw his wand into the mix, he becomes even more dangerous. With it, he's able to shoot blue fire at the enemy. He can shoot 3 at a time. Wicked.
And when Ludwig has his clones in the field, Ludwig is capable of shooting 9 projectiles at once. That's crazy.
Luckily, just like Bowser Jr., he's also one of the smartest in his entire family. Just like his green Italian enemy, he was able to copy Yoshi's iconic scuttle jump, which helps to get him more airtime. He also has a clown card, just like the rest of his family, even though unfortunately his card has nothing unique to it.
You know, we said he got no vampire traits. Looks like we're not completely wrong. Just like most vampires in fiction, he's very arrogant and overconfident, being able to get knocked out of the fight if he isn't careful.
Lucky Ludwig doesn't have many other weaknesses, making him one of the strongest on the team.
Next is Roy Koopa. Wait. Roy? Is he a boy?
Just no. How about you don't?
Really? Because I liked it. Oh well, Roy Koopa is muscle of the group. He's very tough, but like most tough guys, he's also very dumb. Just like his bros, Roy has got his own magic wand to shoot fireballs with, and can get inside his shell and launch himself spinning at an enemy.
This seems to be a common ability of all the Koopalings, so we won't bring it up again.
You know what else is really cool? Roy has a fucking rocket launcher that shoots out bullet bills as well.
Oh, those really slow bullets. Cool. Roy is strong enough to throw giant boulders and even reflect them back at enemies with ease as well.
And Roy isn't afraid to get all out with his bare fist if the time comes for it.
But besides that, he's more of a straightforward thinking guy who charges into his opponents with no care. Kinda like a Goomba.
I respect that. He also loves to get physical as well, mostly attacking the Mario Bros with just his bare hands. Like the rest of his family, he got the classic clown cop.
Okay, to make sure we don't repeat ourselves, let's just say that they all have clown cards. Deal?
Fine. Anyway, despite the fact that Roy is very physical, he has no training in hand-to-hand combat. Plus, as he said before, he's very dumb, so there is no chance of strategy with him. But other than that, he's definitely a good contribution to the team.
The next one we got is Lemmy Koopa. Does anyone even remember him?
I do.
Of course you do. Anyway, Lemmy Koopa is the Clown Prince Koopa, and would much rather not fight the Mario Bros. All he wants to do is perform in a circus, and make his dad proud.
So he's not actually evil, just desperate for approval? I know that feeling. Try to make their father proud of them.
Demon, are you crying?
No!
Besides that, while he's not too fond of doing all these evil deeds, he's pretty good at doing them. He's very childish, and this shows in his attacks. Plus, look at his eyes. Creepy.
Like his ability to summon giant bombs out of nowhere with his magic, and for his method of transportation? A giant deadly ball.
Don't let looks fool you. This ball is extremely deadly, and can crush you like you're nothing. He can also breathe fire like his dad. He can also split himself into 5 different weird forms. Kinda like his own version of the Shadow Clones.
While he's impressive, Lemmy has flaws. He's childish and immature, and just like the previous Koopa we discussed, he doesn't really have any forms of strategy. Doesn't excuse him for being the craziest out of the group.
Next up is Iggy Koopa, the machine or ally user of the group.
What can we say about Iggy? Oh yeah, he's a nature-loving guy who loves caring for animals.
Wait, what? Are you sure that's right?
Yep, Google it, man. He showed this with all of his attacks.
Like his pet Chain Chomp, which can devastate his enemies with a single chomp. Fitting, really.
He can enlist the help of others things, such as lifting platforms in the middle of lava, more platforms in order to distract his foes, pulling random war pipes in the middle of his rooms, and even using these enemies called Magmargs to distract Mario. He can also summon lava.
He can also use Goombas and Koopas if he's really that bored. But unlike the other Koopalings, Iggy is really the one that focuses on using his wand to attack. As said before, he can shoot green fireballs and shoot 3 fireballs simultaneously.
It also helps that Iggy is generally smarter than most of his brethren as well. Well, not as competent as, say, Bowser Jr. or Ludwig. He's able to formulate pretty good plans in order to defeat the pesky plumbers.
However, Iggy's main weaknesses is that most of his traps can be used against him. While he is smart, he can sometimes be a little dumb and slip in the face of battle.
Not to mention, I think he's just insane as Lemmy. But, never mind that. Who do we have next, Archer?
Oh, next we have Morton Coop.
Wait! Morton? That's his name? Okay, then. That's who you should worry about the most. The great and powerful Morton. Ah, yeah, Morton, yeah.
Well, names aside, Morton probably has the most unique design out of all the siblings, as he's gray and black instead of the usual yellow.
Would that induce racism against turtles then?
Thankfully not. Morton, just like Roy, likes to focus more on brawn rather than brain, but equally more stupid.
Along with the usual crap, Morton is surprisingly agile, being able to climb walls, jump really, really high, come back down to crush any poor sucker that's underneath them.
That's basically just a ground pound, you know.
Ha, yep.
He can also be quite reckless in his attacks, biting and clawing at anything he considers an enemy.
But that's not all. Morton also on occasion wields a hammer, which can use to lay the smackdown on an enemy and claw them to the pits. He's also able to knock enemies with the thing as seen in his boss fights in New Super Mario Bros. U.
Lastly, Morton can summon spiked balls using his wand, because why not? Other than that, Morton's really,
dumb. He's even dumber than Roy, which is unfortunate because Roy is capable of doing things at least. Morton just blindly rushes in and does whatever he feels, making him very prone to damage.
He's also very large, meaning he makes for an easy target compared to the rest of his siblings. As an Overwatch player, I would know.
Finally, the next Koopaling up next is Wendy Koopa, or instead, many people know her as the only female Koopa of the bunch.
I won't even begin to comprehend how confusing that would be when the Koopalings are having group meetings, or together at all.
Props to her though, as she makes for quite the interesting fighter. Wendy's fighting style is probably the weirdest out of the bunch of Koopalings. Explain, Archer.
For starters, Wendy seems to be like fighting in water environments, making her the most adaptable fighter when it comes to underwater combat.
Luckily, her skill set is designed around this. Wendy is able to generate and throw a wide assortment of rings, which are used in 2 ways.
She can either simply throw them for long-range attacks, or she can create traps with them, allowing for Wendy to get closer and attack the enemy that way.
Not to mention, she got a pair of ice skates, which she can use on icy environments. They help her maneuver around the battlefield much faster, but they are only used where ice is involved.
Lastly, Wendy is known to tackle her enemies if they get too close, and just like a majority of her brothers, has a wand, which she uses in conjunction with her rings in order to create the perfect long-range game.
That's great and all, but that's only for long range. Wendy has to keep a safe distance away from the opponents or else she'll get overwhelmed in close quarters combat.
Don't forget that her fighting style is mostly focused for aquatic and icy environments. If she's not in one of these, she won't be able to fight on par with the rest of her brothers. But hey, at least the Koopalings have a water fighter, so that's good.
Finally, we got Larry Okay, I know I made fun of Morton, but Larry? Who's gonna fear a guy named Larry? I mean, that's the least threatening name someone can have.
What if I told you he's considered the leader of all the Koopalings when Bowser Jr. isn't around?
What? Why? This makes no sense. Why not make Iggy or Ludwig the leaders or something? Just keeping the bio short then.
Sure thing, Demon. Larry is the youngest of all the Koopalings. Why he doesn't have any particular power? Well, he's kind of well-rounded actually, overall.
Larry with his wand is able to fire sky blue fireballs in quick successions, making it quite tricky to dodge his attack.
Larry is also the Koopaling who seems to favor the shell spinning out of everyone else, due to it being a main feature throughout his boss battles.
These shell spins are quick and are able to damage an opponent within a heartbeat, thanks to each Koopaling spanks on their back.
And while it seems Larry doesn't have any unique powers, his all-rounded nature allows him to fight equally on par with Mario and the rest of his enemies.
Plus, Larry is very small, and it's very hard to actually land a hit on him. Height also helps him reach lightning speed while inside his shell, making him one of the fastest Koopalings around. Other than that, there's nothing else new that Larry often has up the table.
That means we have to talk about them as a team now.
Right, Archer. The Koopalings, unlike the Roadmasters, actually been seen work as a team on numerous occasions and are quite effective.
Such as being able to kidnap Princess Peach and help Bowser take over most of the Mushroom Kingdom. Together they were able to even lift their old man at one point. They even took a falling castle directly to the face.
Plus, since the Koopalings are actually siblings, they have a legitimate family bond and care about one another if they get hurt. And with their magic together, they brought back their old man and turned him into Dry Bowser. Hell, they're even able to take frequent dips in lava themselves. Lava itself is around 1894 degrees Celsius. It's really, really hot.
However, while they do have good teamwork skills, if you split them up, they are more easier to defeat, as the Koopalings are more used to fighting as a team rather than alone in order to overwhelm opponents.
Not to mention that Bowser Jr., Lupin, and Iggy are the only real competent Koopalings, while the rest of the bunch fumbling idiots. In fact, those 3 Koopalings most of the time have to carry the team after the rest of the brethren fall.
Roy is really stupid, Morton is somehow even dumber, Larry doesn't have any particular advantage, Wendy is primarily a water-based fighter, and Lemmy doesn't even know what he's doing half the time.
Plus all the Koopalings regardless of the same ability. While this is okay at first, if someone finds a way to get around this, such as Mario, they're going to get their asses kicked. But it doesn't help that Bowser has to keep them in line most of the time, or all the time due to their incompetence.
Anything else, Demon?
Nope, not really. Just wrap this up.
Agreed. While the Koopalings are most of the time a bunch of stumbling idiots, they are still loyal to Bowser, regardless, and will stop at nothing to defeat Mario.
Okay, these combatants are set. It's time to settle this debate.
It's time for these 2 fictional characters to collide.
Hey, Junior.
I'm a retard!
Cool, I just got a Facebook message from Mario. I'm gonna go play some karting.
Okay, can I come?
Nah, I got Koopa Kid coming with me.
Oh, okay. Why the fuck is Koopa Kid down, that Mega Man? He's always in my way. I've got to find a way to calm down. Oh, here we are. Ooh, I like that castle. Robot Masters, come on, attack that. Obviously said castle. I want to make it into a new castle for the Mega Man 11 game. It's never going to happen.
As you command, Master Wily. I will claim it for you.
No, you will stay here and polish base. Yeah!
For
Well, that's convenient.
Fight! So, you're the one responsible for all this?
Ah, yes, it was me, the great Dr. Wily.
Well, I have one thing to say.
Oh, shit.
Thanks for killing those sons of bitches. I never liked them anyway.
You're welcome. Your own son was killed too, you know.
He's the biggest bitch of them all. Don't worry, he was already taken care of. I got Cooper Kid, so it's totes fine, yo.
Well, in that case, you're welcome, my strange turtle friend.
Oh, brother Moinstein, wanna get to be here?
Sure.
Can I come as well, sir?
Shut up and scrub base already.
But I already did that.
I see no scrubby back scrubby.
Aw.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, I have no sex life.
Shut up.
Wanker?
Oh, that certainly went better than expected.
Yes, it certainly did.
Magnets!
Well, that was crazy. Maybe one of the best we had in a long time. But the point still stands. How did the Turtles lose to a bunch of machines?
It's actually not that easy to explain this time. These two teams have something over the other, which makes this a tough one to crack. Let's start with versatility. The Robot Masters have something unique with their own main weapon systems and have mastered it completely, even much more than the Blue Bomber himself. The Koopalings, on the other hand, have very basic attacks, which they share with one another, and making for a pretty easy fighting style. This means that the Robot Masters would have been able to adapt and dodge the Koopalings' attacks, while the Koopalings wouldn't be able to do anything due to the Robot Masters' superior and unique fighting styles.
Not to mention that to really hurt these robots, you either need to have a specific ability from another Robot Master or the corresponding element, which means you would need a copy ability. And last time I checked, these Koopalings can't do that. Plus, the Koopalings have very few elemental attacks in the first place, meaning their chances of actually hurting the Robot Masters were slim from the get-go. That's another problem that Koopalings have, finding the weakness from each individual Robot Master.
Koopalings, at first sight, wouldn't have known to use that specific item or element to greatly damage them, while the Robot Masters, just like the Mario Brothers, can easily tell the pattern that they give him. Also, with pure durability, Robot Masters have a trump card, Heat Man.
Yep, his atomic fire can burn over 21,000 degrees, while the Koopalings can survive lava, which is only 1,800 degrees. They have never shown that they can survive something that's over 10 times that hot. If their old man couldn't do it before, who says that they can?
Also, they would have had to get past a lot of these Robot Masters first, like Cookman, for example, who can travel faster than lightning. Many of the Koopalings haven't shown speed this fast as well. Remember guys, we are mentioning the manga here, which clearly states Cookman is faster than lightning, or Metal Man, whose metal blades easily beat most of the Koopalings' wand attacks. Or Flashman, who can just full-time stop itself, giving the Koopalings little time to attack. Or even Crashman, who's literally a walking explosive army.
We should also mention that the only competent Koopalings are Bowser Jr., Ludwig, and Iggy. Every other Koopaling has either a very glaring weakness, not suited for battle against a different Robot Master, or they're not as strong as the three Koopalings we just mentioned.
Meanwhile, some of the dumber Robot Masters like Bubble and Woodman might seem weak, actually have better abilities compared to the rest of the Koopalings.
While Bowser Jr., Ludwig, and Iggy are strong on their own right, their feats are going to compete with the rest of the better Robot Masters, who would eventually be able to wear them down. Plus, since the rest of the Koopalings are basically cannon fodder, they would go down quickly, leaving them aforementioned three Koopalings to get overwhelmed.
But there is still two more things we should mention. Demon, get on it.
Okay. This all comes down to the one-on-one and the team fighting sections. The Koopalings are not the best in one-on-one fighting scenarios and are way better in a team. While the Robot Masters are much better alone than they are together. And hell, they can fight Mega Man on their own most of the time. Comparing Mega Man to the Koopalings, like comparing Ultra Instinct Goku to a pencil.
While the Koopalings do work better as a team, yes, the Robot Masters would have eventually forced the Koopalings to split up, and from there, it was game over for the Koopalings.
Archer, cover the Koopalings matchup.
Yes. Lastly, while the Koopalings do have impressive magic-based abilities, it is not going to do much against the Robot Masters. The magic is almost as predictable as their overall fighting styles, which makes it seem pretty pointless in the end.
Well, as we said before, the Koopalings don't really have a lot of elemental-based attacks outside of fire, which is good for taking out one Robot Master.
But the other 8 will soon be over them, and the Koopalings won't be able to do much to counter the combined might of the Robot Master's unique weapons. So while the Koopalings still have magic and teamwork advantages against the Robot Masters, the robots take strength, speed, durability, experience, finding of weakness, and overall versatility over the Koopalings, which allow them to win this fight.
Seems like the Koopalings met their true masters.
And the winner is the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2.
Next time on Fictional Characters collide.
A brawl is surely brewing. And begin!